Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is Dr. Ankush Ambardar from Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. Today, I'll be taking up a topic from the subject Tourism and Hospitality, Front Office Operations and Management, and the topic is Travel Formalities and Regulations. Well, after completing this module, students will be able to understand why travel formalities and regulations are important, and will be able to learn various types of travel documentations and understand the types and procedures of obtaining these documents. Well, the students will even understand the genus of travel regulations. Tourism can be stated as the largest and rapidly growing industries across the profitable market segmentation. Advancement in means of transportation is the present. Traveling becomes very fast and people are crossing the geographical boundaries for several reasons. Therefore, tourism professionals must be fully aware about all the rules and regulations affecting the outbound travel in directly and indirectly manner, and they should be thorough with all the latest happenings in this regard, as the tourists visiting any part of the world are governed by rules and regulations of both the countries, that is native and the host country. These rules and regulations are quite important for the security of the host country. These formalities help and prevent the illegal movement of illegal migrants and criminals. They also help the country to limit illegal entry of the unauthorized goods such as drugs, animal hides, arms, explosive, etc. These formalities before the movement of the tourists from own country to other country ensure the safety of country being visited. The formalities are in the form of documents and endorsements which are solicited well in advance. The tourist must induce authentic passport and visa before consummating the technicalities of travel. Without the preconditioned documents, travel is not possible overseas. In India, there are no boundaries to travel in different states once one gets the visa, except for the borderline areas and the islands for which a special permit is required, as the fourth said, are very high security lands. However, a traveler who wants to go outside of his native country for the purpose of recreational activities has to undergo certain formalities or inspections before starting his travel. So first is prime inspection. So during the eliminatory inspection, passport, visa when required, compulsory vaccinations, travel insurance, foreign exchange, restricted area permit are the documents required from a traveler. Backup inspection. After the primary inspection, a secondary inspection is conducted by the Bureau of Immigration to protect the suspectable victims of human trafficking and subjective outlawed recruitment drives by checking the following prospects such as age, educational qualification, physical capacity to travel, etc. If the traveler is not financially able to travel around the desired destinations, then he shall need an endorsement certificate stating the relationship with the above mentioned endorser. Passport. A passport is a canonical and decisive testimony issued by the endowed public authority of a nation to its nationals. It is the first step of the many steps in order to be a legitimate traveler to any country, border or port of any country. A legal passport assures the traveler to visit different destinations without any deterrent or moratorium. The passport is the document of highest legal and authoritative value of legalized entity of the person trying to travel or leave the country. It also serves as the validatory verification of the person. Passport also assures the host country of the legitimacy of the traveler. The passport is issued in the name of the country, that is the president, chancellor, king, etc. It is a booklet issued to the holder from the issuing authority of external affairs. Passport shows the holder's international identity, which gradually becomes the holder's national status in the different parts of the world and official permission to pass the port. Orthodox passports subsume information like the holder's name, signature, place and date of birth, photograph and other identifying information. To be credible for international travel, the passport must be used within the period of validity specified on it. To travel to a foreign country along with passport, the person has to have the visa permission from the embassy of the host country. Then on the basis of this document along with the visa and endorsements, the particular person is allowed to penetrate the destination for a specific period of time mentioned on the visa. Generally, a passport is valid for all the countries, but if there are any exceptions of the country, their name will be specifically and separately mentioned. To apply for a passport, the person should be a citizen of the country he is applying passport to. Citizenship is given to that citizen who is member of the state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. A citizenship is bestowed under following conditions: by birth, through parents, by normalization, political asylum, through marriage, through honor or invitation. There are three types of passports available in India, and they are the regular Indian passport. This type of passport is issued to common citizens and VIPs and is used for regular or ordinary travel on personal grounds. Also called as type P or P type, P indicating personal, this passport comes in booklets of either 36 pages or 60 pages. These passports do not provide any special privilege to the holder. The official Indian passport. This passport is typically issued to government employees who are traveling on national duty to represent their country and individuals who are fully dependent on officials on the Indian Foreign Service, Branch A and B. Such passports are not issued to individuals traveling for overseas assignments of official state business. No special privileges are enjoyed by the holder of an official passport. The diplomatic Indian passport. Probably the most elite kind of passport, the diplomatic Indian passport is given to top-ranking government officials, consuls, and top officials of Indian Foreign Service, traveling generally on duty, their dependents and essentials, anyone appointed with the status of a diplomat. It is to be noted that carrying a diplomatic passport does not bestow you with diplomatic immunity, which is something that is bestowed separately. Documents required while applying for passport are photographs. The person requires 3 recent passport size photographs in color, showcasing the front view of the complete face. Address. Address could be given as a ration card, election card, bank account statement, telephone bills or electricity bill, employer certificate on company's letterhead, gas connection bill, and so on and so forth. Birth proof. Copies of original birth certificate, citizenship document. So check whether the person applying for the passport is a citizen of the country by birth or by registration. Identity certificate. The identity certificate for the following should be submitted in original: government, public sector, employees of statutory bodies, and no objection certificate. If the person applying for the passport is government official, then this document should be submitted in original. Affidavit or marriage certificate. For change of name on the passport after the person gets married, letter of authority. This letter is required for the travel agents. Visa. This stands for Visitors Intended Stay Abroad. It is the patent which concedes the citizens of one country to travel another country for mentioned period of time and a designated purpose. Visa is issued by the embassy of the host country situated in the visiting person's country. The visa is usually said to be a bilateral agreement between two countries. A visa is an avenue made by diplomatic officials of a government in a passport or other travel documents which indicates that the bearer has been granted permission to enter or re-enter the host country. Visa comprises of following details. So authorized length of stay, the period of validity, the number of times a person is allowed entry, that is, that may single or multiple entry during that period. A single entry visa will not be valid if it has been used once, even though the validity date has not expired. In case of multiple entry visas, its validity expires on the date of expiry. The date of entry stamp is imprinted on the passport when a person arrives in the country concerned. This stamp can be placed on the page bearing the visa or on another page of the passport, which gradually shows that the visa has been used. Entry to host country is almost confirmed when the traveler gets the visa, but the final decision regarding the entry is taken by the immigration officials at the entry point, as they have the authority to deny the entry to any traveler if they find anything suspicious. Visa helps the immigration department of the host country to keep a tab on the number of visitors that are likely to travel from a country. Visas are also required for children. If a child travels on adult passport, the visa is in that passport must mention that it is valid for both the child as well as the adult concerned. The visa is granted in form of a rubber stamp on a passport or an endorsement. If embassy or consulate is not available in the country to issue the visa, then it becomes necessary to send the passport to the country where travel is intended in order to get the permission in form of visa. There are countries for which you don't have to get permission prior the arrival. Such countries issue visa on arrival, that is Hong Kong, Malaysia, Thailand, Mauritius, etc. The intended travel should first make sure they have a valid citizenship and visa requirements for the country he or she intend to visit. So types of visa. Government of India issue the following visas: e-visa, business visa, conference visa, diplomatic visa, employment visa, emergency visa, entry visa, journalist visa, medical visa, missionaries visa, permit to re-enter within 2 months, research visa, student visa, tourist visa, transit visa, intern visa, film visa, compulsory vaccination. Whatever the destination, the best possible pre-travel preparation is essential to protect the health of traveler while away. Some vaccines are compulsory and they can face difficulty crossing borders without correct documentation. Other vaccines are highly recommended for their own health and safety, but they will not be asked for documentation while passing international borders. There are two types of immunizations which are compulsory and recommended. The compulsory vaccinations are only required by certain countries. Some countries may recommend certain immunizations, especially when the traveler normally travels outside the urban areas. The traveler should therefore be advised to obtain a health certificate proving that they have been vaccinated for a specified infectious disease. If they are not able to produce the same, they could be deported back out of the country, or they could be detained and kept in quarantine. An internationally recognized certificate is required by the traveler if they have to be vaccinated against a certain disease. The certificate has to be produced by travelers at the point of entry into the country. The WHO International Certificate of Vaccination can usually be obtained from health clinics, doctors, and health authorities. In order for the certificate of vaccination to be valid, it must bear the name of vaccination, the date, and should be signed by the concerned authorities in the country of issue. Cholera and yellow fever are the only vaccinations which are normally required for traveling to certain countries. Special permits for restricted areas. Non-Indian citizens are not allowed to visit certain protected areas in India, mainly Northeast, according to the Foreigners Protected Area Order 1958. They need to obtain a Protected Area Permit (PAP) to visit these protected areas. Indian citizens who are not resident in these areas are also required to get an Inner Line Permit (ILP) to enter these places. According to the Foreigners Restricted Area Order 1968, non-Indian citizens are not allowed to visit certain restricted areas in India. They are required to obtain a Restricted Area Permit (RAP) to visit these areas in India. As of 2009, non-Indians need RAP to visit Union Territory of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and parts of state of Sikkim. Now, why should one get protected Restricted Area Permit? For security reasons and protection, to disallow permanent stay of foreign citizens who find it difficult to settle with their families abroad and want to settle permanently in protected or restricted areas of India. Settle permanently in protected, restricted areas of India for tourism. Note: long-term or permanent permits are not given to non-Indian family members, not even to NRIs, persons of Indian origin, but foreign citizens now. Areas for which a protected area permit is required: all of Nagaland, all of Sikkim, parts of Arunachal Pradesh, specific regions of Himachal Pradesh, specific regions of Jammu and Kashmir, specific regions of Manipur, specific regions of Mizoram, and border areas of Rajasthan, parts of Uttarakhand. Area for which a restricted area permit is required are Andaman and Nicobar, high alert areas of Sikkim. The restricted area permit is issued by Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, all foreign regional registration offices (FRROs), chief immigration officers and immigration officers. The protected area permit can be issued by Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, Lok Nayak Bhavan, New Delhi, all foreigners regional registration office (FRRO) at Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Amritsar, Hyderabad and Bangalore. All Indian mission abroad. Application process. How to get protected restricted area permit? So we need to download the RAP application form from websites like www.in.ckgs, and RAP application form could be downloaded from the same sites of ministry. Submit the application form in person or by post to the closest Indian mission in the nation prior to visit. If you are already here, submit the requisite application to any of the authorities delegated the powers to issue such a special permit. So on arrival, one is required to report at FRRO office of the district one is visiting within 24 hours of the arrival. One will be issued the PAP or RAP with a limited days validity depending upon the stay one visits. Documents required for protected restricted area permit are 3 copies of filled-in application form, copies of the applicant's passport, and 2 passport photographs. Now, travel insurance. Having this insurance is a very important aspect of travel planning. It helps the travelers by giving a perfect prior safeguard against adverse situations from the time the journey starts. So before selecting the insurance plan, the travelers should look at these following facts of the policy. Compensation for flight issues. A travel insurance policy provides 1. With compensation in certain cases, including flight delays or cancellations. This usually is covered in case of traveling abroad. One will be provided with accommodation during the waiting period. Medical emergency and hospitalization. This type of policy covers the cost of medical emergencies that a traveler faces when he is on the move and is in the need of any financial help while away from the home. The policy will normally cover all reasonable medical, surgical, hospital, and nursing fees incurred overseas as a result of bodily injury, illness, or disease to relieve pain. Travel and accommodation. This clause covers any emergency causing trip, termination, or delay. In the meanwhile, expenses arising out of the hotel accommodation in between, transportation, air ambulance, if required due to a medical emergency, etc., are settled under the coverage of one's travel insurance policy. Legal liabilities and expenses. This clause covers the traveler in case of any unfortunate incident that the traveler becomes reason for. These include death or damage to health or the property of the sufferer. Now, benefits of travel insurance. If the flight is delayed, meal reimbursements are given. In case of lost passport, quick assistance is provided. Emergency medical help is provided whenever required. Basic requirements are provided in case of luggage lost. In case of disaster, heading back home is made quickly. It is mandatory to take travel insurance for some countries to travel in. Now, immunity is provided in case of travel companies' bankruptcy. It makes the trip economic. It gives maximum coverage at minimum cost. Foreign exchange. Person going abroad for immigration can draw foreign exchange up to $5,000 or the amount prescribed by the country of immigration from an authorized dealer in India. This amount is only to meet the incidental expenses in the country of migration. No amount of foreign exchange can be remitted outside India to become eligible or for earning points or credits for immigration. All such remittance require prior permission of the Reserve Bank. Source: Reserve Bank of India. Limit of foreign exchange on return to India. Residents are permitted to hold foreign currency up to $2,000 or its equivalent, provided the foreign exchange was acquired by him while on a visit to any place outside India by way of payment for services not arising from any business in or anything done in India, or acquired by him for any person not resident in India and who is on a visit to India as honorarium or gift or for services rendered or in settlement of any lawful obligation, or acquired by him by way of honorarium or gift while on a visit to any place outside India, or acquired by him from any authorized person for travel abroad and represents the unspent amount thereof. While coming into India, how much foreign exchange can be brought in by the traveler? A person coming into India from abroad can bring with him foreign exchange without any limit, provided if foreign currency notes or traveler checks exceed $10,000 or its equivalent, and or the value of foreign currency exceeds $5,000 or its equivalent. It should be declared to the custom authorities at the airport in the currency declaration form CDF on arrival in India. Now, to conclude the unit, information regarding various travel formalities such as passport, visa, vaccination, restricted area permits, foreign exchange, etc., and various regulations regarding foreign travel are becoming more and more relevant as people are traveling more frequently. These formalities facilitate smooth travel and stay of tourists at the destination and also affect overall travel experience. Without prior and proper information, tourists will face many difficulties and their travel experience will turn into a nightmare. Therefore, the tourism professionals should arrange all the documents and complete all formalities regarding travel. This chapter has given a deep insight into the various formalities and regulations regarding foreign travels. Thank you for watching EPG Pathshala. This was Dr. Ankush Ambardar from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra.